Alrighty. So I am live, hopefully. Yep. I got Jason on the angry prepper on my phone. So I'll be multitasking here at a time or two until we start really getting going. But MacBean Scottish Fitness, thanks for joining in. We can get rid of that. So bench, and probably after the bench, I'm going to do some light deadlifts. Just start adding that to the queue. So here we are live at the Edge Fitness in Streeter. And just doing the warm-ups, getting everything loosened up here. Lots of valleys in there. Who else? So welcome to MacBean Scottish Fitness bench day, and then we're going to throw some deadlifts in. I'm going to start adding that to my routine. Now that the season has changed and I will find less and less chores to do around the outside of the house, I will be moving that into the exercise time and walk times. Yesterday, I went for a little over an hour hike into the forest, and I posted up some videos. Hey, Casey Little, oh, thanks for joining in. Good to see you. So I did a hike in the woods yesterday for over an hour. I was able to sneak up on some wild turkeys. I think I put that short both on this channel and my MacBean's Farm and Fitness, our farms and prepping. Also scared up 3 deer. There was a squirrel there. I don't think I have on video though. And then of course a bunch of vultures. But I had a really nice walk in there and enjoyed the 60-degree weather. It's probably a little bit warmer where you're at, KC. But the 80s and 90s have left us. And it got down into the 40s last night. And I think it was about 54 degrees this morning when I got up, which is really, really nice sleeping weather as far as I'm concerned. So today's bench day. We'll talk about nutrition. We'll talk about getting your exercise plans down and sticking with your goals. You know, it is human nature. It is normal to take it easy at times. Nothing wrong with that. But if you get in the habit of doing that, before you know it, 92, whoo, high of 72 today. So that's, thank you, fall. So we'll be in the 60s most of the week, gets back up in the 70s briefly. And then before we know it, the snow will be flying. So, the whole idea is try to make a plan. So my plan is to be doing a live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. here at the gym. I actually got here a little earlier. It'll give me time to warm up a little bit and do a little BSing with some of the older generation. I had first guy here is another guy my age, 61. There's another one 79, another one 80. It's nice not to be the old guy in the gym. 135, just warming up, getting the blood flowing. And then we had a little bit of weight. So, Casey, how did you heal up from that snake bite? It had been one big surprise when you went in the laundry room. When I was in Fort Stewart, Georgia, we used to go catch them by hand. Of course, I was 18. I was young and foolish, but I was quick, too. And me and Spec 4 Thomas used to go out and catch rattlesnakes and copperheads, and then we cook them up and eat them. It was kind of our way of adding on to the meals that we needed to have while we were out there. All righty. So, oh yeah, so I got 185 on there now. Now, Wednesday I did a legs, did squats, and then I did shoulders. I stayed light on the squats, which I'm glad I did. But no long term. Yeah, it could have been, because I know it. My buddy, when he moved up to West Virginia, he lost one of his dogs to a copperhead. He was a smaller dog, and he got bit a couple times by one and didn't make it. And it was kind of sad. I caught rattlesnakes and copperheads are up here, but they are rare. I was fishing on the Mazan River back in the, I guess, late 80s, and I had one curl up on the rock next to me where I was fishing. And my buddy goes, "You see what's next to you?" And I said, "I see him." I said, "He's not bothering me. I won't bother him." And he warmed up a little bit, and on down the river he went. And then when I think I was like 14, I was in Scouts. I used to be the habit of, if you had a board, you picked up the board, and if there was a snake, you grabbed it. And, 99% of the time, it was a garden snake, or a rat snake or a corn snake. And I grabbed this one, and it opened up his mouth, and I seen fangs. I'm like, So I put him back down, put the board back down, tap, tap, tap. Said, sorry I bothered you. And then we kind of cleared out of that AO. We were out in Messenger Woods camping out. It's also the first year I seen the 17-year-old locust come out and play numbers. So that was pretty cool. We woke up in the morning with all these husks all over our tent, all over the ground, and, literally hundreds of thousands of those things making all that noise in the trees. It was pretty cool. Wish I would have had this type of technology where I could have filmed it. So today's bench, and then play around with deadlift. Won't go heavy on deadlift because I haven't done them for a while. Just like I didn't go heavy and hard on squats, and as light as I want. I still kind of felt it in the legs a little bit, but not bad. So basically, my Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are going to be a gym day. Tuesday, I'll throw on a driveway. Saturday, I will go to the high school and throw discus on the pad. For those who just joining in on that, I did win the gold at the Senior Olympics Sunday in discus. I had 5 other competitors. 2 of them were pretty close to me. But I threw 122 feet, 8 inches. I think second place was 117 feet and some inches, and third place was 116. So in discus, 5 or 6 feet is not a big difference. When you add it to your regular average throw, it is, but it was really good competition. I had a blast, met some great people there. Jason Sager came out and watched me throw. He drove up from Peoria. I really appreciate that. Got to meet one of my subscribers face to face. He's a big boy, and I appreciate him coming out there and cheering me on. It was a nice day for it. It started out raining, but then the sky cleared, and I did get a lot of sun. As much as I'm outdoors without a shirt on at home, because when I'm at home, I'm not wearing a shirt, and I'm outside all the time, unless I'm hiking in the woods. I had that tank top on, and when I got home and I took it off, I could see the outline of it. So I had that farmer's tan. That was kind of funny. I didn't think I was past the point of that, but evidently I wasn't. So tomorrow I'll go to the high school and I'll throw probably only about 12 throws, maybe 16. And that's going to be my routine. Thursday is going to be my hike day, weather permitting. And it'll either be hike down the road or it's going to be, hiking in the woods. I don't want to go in the woods too often because deer season is going to be starting. And if you did watch my video from yesterday, and it's a long one, it's a little bit over an hour, you can see I found quite a few deer stands and some, where they really built up pretty cool permanent blinds to do deer hunting. So I don't want to push the deer out of there because they are back there. I might even take my bow for a walk. Come after October 1st. Go pick me up some tags. Now that I kind of know where they're bedding, I do know where I can kind of sneak into. Probably can borrow some of those deer stands if there nobody else is out there. So thanks for joining in. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. If you're here, say hello in chat so I can give you a shout out. And 185, let's keep this party going. Good stuff. Who popped in here now? Who we got here? Nikki's Nook, good morning from Georgia, middle Georgia, so around the Atlanta area. I was stationed in Fort Stewart, Georgia when it was open, nearby Hinesville, and then Savannah. I imagine now that Stewart's closed, Hinesville's a much smaller town now. It's basically a town like Hinesville is only there because of south of Atlanta. Okay. I used to do the Atlantic bypass. I think it's 475. On my way down to see my brother in Tampa, Florida. In Statesboro, yep. So Hinesville was a little town outside the post. Basically, the only reason it was there is because of the post. There was a Winn-Dixie there. There was a bunch of bars, gas stations, and they had a new mayor of the town. And, people were complaining that, the GIs were getting rowdy and causing problems. So he said, well, he's going to show them who's in charge. So if you got pulled over for a speeding ticket, for a lane violation, for disorderly conduct, they threw you in jail. And then the first sergeant would have to come and get you. Now, I never ended up in jail, but my buddy did for a lane violation, which should have just been a ticket and go. So the post commander, the division commander, said, well, I'm going to show you who's in charge. And of course, we had the hostage situation in Iran going on at the time. So he sent the whole entire division out in the field for 3 weeks. Everybody closed the post. All right. If you lived on post, you had to buy from the PX. And of course, in 3 weeks, having 90% of their income locked up. Rumor is, I don't know if it was true, that the mayor had to come in and had to beg the post commander to open the post back up. All I know is when we came back out of the field, we were being treated completely different in Hinesville. if you were weaving a little bit, they would pull you over and then they'd give you an escort to the gate, make sure you got there safely. So it was a whole different attitude. So needless to say, morale was high on the post, and definitely we appreciated our post commander. But man, we catch a lot of rattlesnakes down there. Rattlesnakes and copperheads. And we used to chase gators. Never caught one. They're faster than you think. And once they hit the water, we were done. That was theirs. But on land, we'd chase them, 6-footers. But once they hit the water, they were done. There was a 16-footer in the recreation pond. And it was basically trained to come up to the shore and people would feed it. They have big cookouts and that, and they'd just be throwing chicken to it and all that other stuff. But I reminded people that it has a brain about that big. So they're not pets. They cannot be trained. All right, they eat and poop and breed, and that's all they do. Thanks for joining in. I got 2 1/4 up on here now. I don't know how heavy I'm going to go. I always say that. I always kind of go a little heavy. I'll have to see who I have for spotters. I think some of my regular guys have already walked out. So a lot of times if I don't have a good spotter, then that's going to keep me from lifting heavy. I don't want to be that guy that has to dump the weights. Now I can dump them because I don't lift with clamps, and I never do for the most part, not on bench. Now on squats and deadlifts I do because you're really rocking the weights a lot. Oh, talk about nutrition. Nutrition is got to have a proper amount of protein and carbs to build the muscle, maintain the muscle. Because my weight was down, I think I got down to almost 232. I am now currently hitting the scales at 240, which is closer to the weight I want to be at. Yeah, Gator, Florida, North Carolina. I lived in Florida for a while. My 2 brothers lived down there. One still does. So there's a lot of gators there. We were in St. Cloud, and we had a buddy from Tennessee come down and visit us. And we took him to the Serpentarium. And this is where I decided I didn't want to have a Burmese python for a pet, because at the time I was working for the USDA, and there was a pet shop, and they had a Burmese python, maybe about that long, maybe a little bigger than my finger around. And they, first wanted 300 and 250 and 200, and they finally offered me for $75. Now I was about ready to get it, but we went and visited the Serpentarium, and they had 2 full-grown ones that were in excess of 23 feet long, and they were that big around. And I asked them, "What do you feed them?" And they said, "Pigs." Like, holy crap! I said, "Nope, I don't want to have a pet that I have to fight to the death with once it gets bigger." And that's why now they are of a species in Florida now, because people would buy them when they're nice and small. Until when those snakes get around 6-7 feet long, they're really getting too strong to handle. My buddy had one that was probably around 7-8 feet, and my daughter and I were struggling to keep it from getting in the chain link fence. So he gave it to a Serpentarium. A lot of people just let it go in the swamps, and they did fine. So now they're in Florida, and they're doing well. Even though they're trying to get rid of them, they're just it's one of those species. Once they get in there, they're probably in there for good. Yeah. So they havoc on small mammals, pets. If you're in Florida, you got to stay close to your kids. We went down to see my Uncle Jim down in Astor Park. So it's just west of Jacksonville. And my little daughter, she couldn't have been 3-4 years old. I seen her run around the corner of the house towards the river. And so I sprinted there and I got her to stop, and I walked up to the shore, and I kicked out probably about a 10-12 foot gator. Was sitting on the shore. And I had a long, stern conversation with my daughter about not stay within sight of me because she would have been a meal. So you really got to be careful about that. All right, 2 1/4. As I get heavier, I do less reps, but I'll do a couple more sets. And that's just to keep everything nice and loosened up. Injuries happen when the muscles don't have a chance to warm up, when you're not getting some of the nutrients in there. The drink I'm drinking consists of a pre-workout called Takeoff from 747 Style. I like the mix. It's got creatine. It's got the arginine I take. It's got a lot of aminos in there. Vitamin C, vitamin B3, which is good for cholesterol, niacin. Choline, which is good. Caffeine-wise, someone already said, I gotta look at. I thought I had caffeine in it, but maybe not. I don't see the caffeine in there. So this may not have caffeine. I thought he read off that it had 200 milligrams, but I don't see it listed. If I take this, that you can get at Apex Nutrition, go online, they will ship to you, and MacBean 15 will get you a discount. Then I also put a scoop of this Inaflex in for joint support. Got the same place. And that's what I have as my pre-workout. Generally afterwards, I will usually grab a protein bar. It's kind of my dessert. And have that on the way home. And then once I get home, I cook up a meal. Take your small goats, yeah. So my uncle's third wife, Aunt Joni, the one I liked, and she still lives down in Florida. I wish I could get a hold of her again. But her sons, the state would call when they had a gator problem. They go out and capture the gator and then, cut it up and sell the meat. But my daughter actually got to ride one. They had one. They taped the mouth shut and had her on it. She couldn't have been but 6 years old, 6, 7. Somewhere there's a picture of that my wife had. And then where they did all the butchering that, literally there was so much dead meat out there that when we first walked up there to go do some shooting, about 100 vultures got up in the air. You could almost even feel the air move. There were so many of those big birds. PT, physical therapy just about killed me. Simple exercise, but powerful. Thinks I might also have a torn intercostal muscle too. So basically follow his advice. Become a true physical therapist. Requires a master's degree, at least up here in Illinois. So that means they do a lot of schooling and a lot of studying of what they're doing. So definitely follow his advice, ask a lot of questions, and then listen to what he has to say or she say, whoever your therapist might be. But here in Illinois, literally it's a master's degree to become a licensed physical therapist. Unlike a physical trainer, physical therapist is a whole different story. I don't need a master's degree, but I do have a certificate for training. But anytime when people have special conditions and that, and they are under a doctor's care, and I said, always listen to your doctor first. And then I also do research on it. So I make sure I don't hurt my clients. You don't want to bring somebody in and try to get them in better shape and end up tearing stuff up because of you're not aware of special needs. So, I mean, a good trainer will ask you what your goals are, not what their goals are, but what your goals are. If they say, hey, I'm going to make you this, this, and this, and this, go find somebody else. All right, because it is what you want to do. Do you want to get toned? Do you want to get endurance? Do you want to get, stronger, faster, leaner? Do you want to look bigger? What is it you want to accomplish? And then I will, any other good trainer will sit there and design a program for that, which will be around nutrition, exercise, and sleep. And then, you also got to be doing it on your own too. I have a client that hopefully he'll be able to start training with me. But the one thing I liked about him is I could tell that he was doing the exercises when he wasn't training with me because I could see the improvement. Because he only see me once a month, and then next month he would be improved over our last session. If he wasn't improved, then I knew he wasn't doing the work. So I really enjoy people like that. Yeah, my wife worked for a company that brought in physical therapists from England and Germany. Yeah, at the times we didn't have enough of them here, and then would place them in jobs. All right, go to quarter again, and then we'll go up. So the next one, we're going to jump up to 275. I'll peek and see if I have any spotters out there. And I'll be right back.
I know you've got the home all to yourself now.
Yeah, it's a good thing and a bad thing. The good news is you get to spot me.
Right, exactly.
Bad news is you get to spot me.
Bittersweet.
On a spot, I'm never going to put anything on there that's going to cause me to fail drastically. So if I do need help, it's 5 pounds.
Okay, well, I'm always good too.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Well, a lot of people
Motivates me to stay in shape.
A lot of people go, I can't believe you used the home in the spot shape. Said my daughter's 5 and she's 9 years old.
Exactly.
It's not like I say, oh, I'll throw an extra 50 pounds I never did before, see what happens.
Yeah.
They know it'll happen. And I am live streaming, so.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'll make sure to be appropriate.
I have to let you know.
Thanks for
Yo.
the heads up, though.
So it looks like the young lady will be spotting me. Savannah River, huge. Oh, yeah. So, the Savannah River, and you also get the Nogeechee River there by Fort Stewart and Hinesville. There was a bridge that we used to dive off of into the river. It was probably about 30, 40 feet above the water. It was a good amount. And we did that for all summer until somebody dove and didn't come back up. And we worked. I understand. I know those chores. Okay, see, thank you for popping in and joining in. I appreciate it. And I'll be checking out your videos too. If anybody hasn't subscribed to Casey Little Owl's channel, I would highly recommend it. He does a lot of things about natural supplements and minerals, and a lot of things that will improve your health without getting into pharmaceuticals. I highly recommend her channel. So go on over there to Casey Little Owls and please hit her a subscribe. So when she gets monetized, she can earn that 50 cents a day too. But I don't do it for the money. I do it for the people saying, hey, you got me back in the gym, left in there. You got me going for walks, or you got me getting back in shape or eating better. That's why I do this channel for. Also, a shout out to Michael at the Body Beatdown, who got me into doing the walks. He's probably sleeping right now. He was up I think at 5 this morning doing a hike, and that was after he did his bicycle. So absolutely, Casey. We all got to kind of help each other out in this community. Everybody's got a lot of good information out there. Casey Little Owl's definitely one of the ones I enjoy listening to when I get the chance. The thing is, I got so many good channels to watch, I just don't have the time to do it. But a lot of times when I come home, I work second shift. I don't get home until about 11:30 at night. I'll listen to 1 or 2 videos before I go to bed because I can't shut down that fast anyway. So if I don't leave a comment, I always leave you a thumbs up. But sometimes I just leave you a comment to let you know that I was watching. And I appreciate the input. So, yep, I remember Hinesville. Like I said, it might be a little bit small because storage, I think it's closed now. I don't know if they've just locked it up and closed it down free all the way, or if they're just using it for administration. I'm not sure. I haven't been down that way in 15 years, so I don't know. I know when it went by Fort Campbell, Kentucky, that place exploded. Since when it is still open? Okay. But does it have an active division there? Or is it just kind of more of support? I'll have to Google that. I'm curious now. Because if it's still open, I think next time I head down south, I do need to make a trip and go see my brother. I'd probably want to stop by and say hi. So 275, do a warm-up set, and then I'll probably do see how many reps I can do after my warm-up. That's to get me ready. Get me ready. So now I'll get my film crew out. Yeah, boys correctional facility on base there. Okay, so that's what they're using it for. Of course, it's sad that we kind of need those things. We have one here in Joliet too. I think one of the dangers is social media is a double-edged sword. It can be a good thing, and it can be a bad thing. And I think the non-supervision from the parents. Here's your computer, here's your phone, here's your Xbox. Go do something and don't bother mommy or daddy. And I think that's causing a lot of the issues. So I think I'm going to hit you guys with a dad joke. Because, that's not what I want to do. There we go. Here we go. So everybody knows Albert Einstein was a genius, but his brother Frank was a real monster. Hey, Runner Boy, good to see you. Damn, getting ads before I can watch it live. Well, watch those ads. I might make my penny or two. That's what live streams are for, so I can make a couple pennies. Make me some sixpence. Runner Boy, thanks for popping in. So has your enlistment date changed any, or is it still out there until next year? Runner Boy is going to be a combat medic. And I do forget when it was in, but, when do you go back? Still next year, yeah. I don't know how it is over there in England, but my daughter's deployment date got moved up 8 months when she signed up. All of a sudden it was like, oh, we got room for you. You leave next week. And boy, did that cause some panic from Mama. Because that was our first child to leave. And then the other two followed a couple years after. before we knew it, we were empty nesters. All right, means guys fitness, getting ready to do some reps. And it's weird when you're raising 3 kids, for a period of 25, 26 years, and then all of a sudden they're gone. It's like, now what do you do? So thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Got 4 thumbs up. I'd like to get some more. We are going to get more consistent with these live streams, and hopefully that'll help my viewership. I'm going to try to do these at 10 a.m. Central Time. I am also taking donations for nationals in Pittsburgh. Probably spelled that wrong. Next year, either Super Chat or PayPal. Yeah. That's a suggestion. If you do it, PayPal, let me know who you are. Maybe a shout out, or if you want to remain anonymous, and they give you that option too. But I did qualify for nationals in the Senior Olympics in discus with winning the gold on Sunday with a throw of 102 feet, 8 inches, which I think is somewhere around 38 meters-ish. So looking forward to that. It is going to be next year in July. Runs from the 7th to the 18th. I imagine the discus is 1 or 2 days, so I'm going to have to stay there. I have to get a room and board and all that other good stuff. Well, running is important, so don't give that up. And but I appreciate making this one. Like I said, I think the 10 o'clock is going to be a little better time. I got a few channels that I like to follow earlier in the morning, and I don't want to be competing with them, even though I think probably 8 o'clock is a more popular time. But I think I'll try to stick with the 10 a.m. It gives me a chance to get a weight gainer shake in, get a little fluids in me, kind of take care of some of the bodily needs. And then I kind of mosey on out here and get set up and get warmed up. And it works out pretty well. Spend about an hour and a half here in the gym. And then it's, grocery shopping, and then head home, make meals for my lunch and make meals for my work day. Today's Friday, TGIF. So sometimes if the wife is not too exhausted from her work week, we sit on the deck and have a drink or two at midnight. Especially when it's cool like this, you ain't got to worry about the bugs. And Banks likes to have her lap time. So I think I'm going to send an email out to Miss Warren. I'm getting a little concerned. I haven't seen her online for a while. I want to make sure everything's okay. I don't know if she's just not getting 100 kilogram bench press in a few weeks. Well, good job. That's 220 pounds, and that's a good weight. And I sit there and can't wait for you to accomplish that. And when you do the video, I'll make sure I comment on it. But those are milestones. Those are good things to do, and don't be in a hurry. Just keep kind of rolling and doing it and have fun with it. So got warmed up on 275, so now I'll do it and see how many reps I can do. I was going to wait for the young lady to get freed up, because when I do burnouts or high reps, I like to have somebody over me just in case I attempted at one too many. Like this, not that I can't dump the weights, I can, but it makes a lot of noise. It's kind of embarrassing that you allowed yourself to get to that point. And she's got 2 people up there at the counter, so I have to wait for that to finish up. While I'm doing that, I'm going to top off my drink, and I'll be right back. but it's not really heavyweight for me by going reps. So if I have a spotter, I might try for that extra one.
Yeah, right. Give that confidence.
But you can't start, you just when you sit there, you know. Better to lift safe.
No, I love that.
And your name?
Oh, my name's Alex.
Alex. Alex, thank you, Alex. So I got my guest spotter here. Alex is going to sit there and watch me while I do the reps. 275 is not a bad weight for me. But then again, I don't want to sit there and have it land on my chest. Although I could dump it if I had to.
And then
All right.
would you prefer if I stand behind you?
Yeah, behind me is the best place. All right, so did I think 7 last time? See if I can get 8. Thank you.
The man, of
Yeah.
course.
Thank you. Hey, what the hell? I felt good. I went for 11. Got 11. Time to go up 315. Now I gotta find my lung. So tanning's a big business here, huh?
Honestly, I thought there was going to be more gym heads, but I get a lot of tanners coming in.
I noticed that. Usually Mondays are these busy days here for the high school kids.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
So they call it now.
That looks good. Yeah.
I don't do the same. I'm outdoors.
Oh, I don't blame you. Yeah, I like the natural sunlight. And, the tanning's so fast. So they can come in, come out. They come every, however often. But the gym, that one takes a little more effort.
Yeah.
Got to put that info in.
I do chores in the morning, mid-afternoon, then I go to work. But always, shirts off there in summer. It's been a really nice summer too.
We've been blessed, yeah.
So I went Sunday, I went down to the Senior Olympics and competed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had a tank top on.
Oh,
So I ended up putting it in the bowl.
oh my gosh, you
And
guys.
discus, thank you. Now, I take the shirt off, look in there going, how did I get a farmer's tan? You can tell exactly where my shirt
Part of
was.
your medal now, too.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
I love it.
Oh, but I do love this weather.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling a little spoiled. Usually, I bundle up always, but I can appreciate when it's nice.
I don't bundle up. We keep the thermostat in the winter at like 60.
I should. But it'll get you. Oh, thank you.
Morning.
You got it?
Here you go.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, had a friend kept us at like 85 because he
85.
had like reptiles for pets and he was used to it.
Oh, wow.
And 45 minutes later, he goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "Hey, I gotta go.
I gotta breathe.
I can't handle this heat."
Okay.
All righty, so it's out of 11. Feel really good about that. So we'll jump up to 315. See if I can find 3 more of those holy weights. Oh, see one there. I think they took them. To the other gym. So I guess I'll use a regular weight. Yeah, down 2. So, same thing, we'll do a warm up, and then we'll do a set. But because I did 315 last week, I'm going to add 5 pounds. So, I'm going to throw yield 2 1/4 on. So I got 320. And this is how you kind of trick yourself to get stronger, is on some of your mid reps, you bump an extra 5 pounds. All right. Yeah, so let me catch up. Did 65 today for 8 reps, 3 sets. That's good. That'll really get the nutrients into there and help those muscles. Then 2 sets of paused. I bench 2 times a week. Seeing a lot of improvements. Yes, 2 times. Wouldn't do any more than that. But you're young, so you definitely will recover. Jacob, always going for that 500 bench. Always. If you're not, this is my opinion, and there's 100 different ways of getting in shape. So by all means, this is not the one and only. This is just one of 100, if not more, of ways of getting in shape. So what I'm telling you is what my goals are. Your goals probably can be completely different, and you make a plan for whatever your goals happen to be. My goal is always to get stronger as long as I can and resist for as long as I can, allow myself to maintain because of my age. What age do you recover the fastest? Probably 18. You got so many hormones pumping in your system. You know, you can break a bone and you can be walking 2 weeks later. But things that help you recover. Good question. You do ask some really good questions. I appreciate that. So thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Things that help recover is going to be nutrition and rest. Also vitamin C. Vitamin C is very, very important in tissue repair. So is magnesium. And so is zinc. Now, one thing about vitamin C is, Hollywood is in the house.
Hey.
I don't have any of your fans on here right now. They probably realized you weren't here yet.
I'll come back.
Yeah. But old Doc over here sits there and he's the keyboard for Journey.
Not actually for Journey, but I've played
With Journey's.
with their singers, different members.
You help out, right?
Huh?
So with Journey, we're just going to say with Journey. It's my story. I'm sticking to it.
It's a long story.
I have got a rock star
a
here.
lot of different bands.
He has a lot of different bands, but Jake, I would say probably 18 to 25 is your fastest recovery ages. But as long as you have proper nutrition, a lot of vitamin C, magnesium, and zinc, and that's kind of what ZMA is. If you ever see that in the nutrition store, it's zinc, magnesium, anhydrous. You don't have to buy it. You can buy magnesium and you can buy zinc separately. Does the same thing. Yeah, good nutrition, absolutely. At 25, you still should be. I mean, you're not old. You're still young at 25. You know, I know we try to think we're old at 25, but trust me, as you get older, you keep pushing that bar. 25. What is it now? 80? 80 is when we start getting old. When we get 80, we'll change that. But yes, good nutrition. Sitting there and lots of the proper supplements. Now remember, supplements are not to replace, they are to add to. To make sure that you're not using protein shakes as meals. They're to go with a meal. Don't use multivitamins to replace good nutrition. They are to supplement your nutrition. You still need to eat fruits and vegetables. You know, you still need to eat meat or something that has a lot of protein if you're not a carnivore like I am. But supplements are important, but they are to add to, they are not to replace. And what happens is people start using those to replace. And initially they might show some sort of improvement, probably because their nutrition was so bad to begin with. But then eventually your body is going to say, hey, I need some real food. You know, I met Brian Shaw, world's strongest man, like 5-time winner. And he eats 12,000 calories a day to maintain his size. And his weekly or monthly budget, maybe his monthly budget in food is 10 grand. Spends 10 grand a month in food.
It's a lot of eggs.
It's a lot of eggs, a lot of everything. Yeah, heavy lifting does make your bones dense. One thing that I have less of a concern on is if I trip and fall and hit the ground, I'm probably not going to break a bone. And I know how to hit the ground right. from being airborne, I know how to, hit the ground and roll and spring back up. Well, not so much springing back up anymore. More of a crawl, groan, and growl. So do a couple here on 315 to warm up, and then I'll go for reps. Now that I got Hollywood back here. There we go. Had a little balance issue there at the beginning. Felt this a little bit heavier in 315. Well, that's right, it was 320. Surprisingly, what a difference 5 pounds make. Did I see you earlier this week? Did you see you Monday?
I think Monday. Yeah.
You know, I won my competition.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah, I'm qualified for nationals in Pittsburgh.
When's that?
July 7th to the 18th.
Ooh, that's a ways away.
Yeah, gives me plenty of time to improve my throw. So on Saturdays, I'm going to stop at Woodland and throw on a pad because I can't do it now because the kids are. And I asked, they said, no, we'd rather not. I said, I understand. You know, you let one person in, next thing you know, there's one of those old farts around there.
Can't have that.
No. So that felt good. So the next set will be for reps. Probably just do 5. Then I'll probably jump up to probably 370 for 1, and then come back down for the reps. And then probably do a burnout at 350 or at 275. I do not. Now I know somebody who does that normally because of his elbows. So you're talking about like this. I will play with it once in a blue moon, but nah. Maybe I'll drop it down to 2 1/4 and do that at the end of my set. I'm not adverse to trying things new. You will be using different muscles when you do that. Anytime that you change your angle of attack, you will employ a different set of muscles. I mean, the main ones will still be employed, but and so anytime you're trying something new, you want to cut back on the weight. Otherwise, you have the chance of hurting yourself or at least making yourself so sore that it may keep you out of the gym a day or two, which you don't want to do. Feels good to be back in the gym. I am kind of feeling that I'm coming here more often and actually increase the activity level now that I've decreased the amount of hours that I'm working. Generally, Wednesday and Thursday, I'd work 10-hour shifts, and I decided to keep them to 8 hours. So I have more time to do things around the house and come to the gym in the morning. And like I said, I've got about 8 of my pounds back. So I'm sitting right at 240, which I think is a better weight for me. Probably want to get about 245, probably 250 at the most. Because then at 250, I can still that down to 242 for a contest without losing too many gains.
Lift.
About 30 seconds. Trying to get that perfect recovery time.
Yep.
So, got 320 on the bench. Trying to sneak. So what do you weigh, Fold?
166.
See what I weigh clothes. I know what I weigh not clothes. So 240. 40. So about 6-7 pounds for clothes and wallet. Oh, let me start the thing here. All right, got 320. Gonna try to knock out at least 4 or 5 reps. Ugh.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, nice set of 5 at 320 pounds. Whew. Oops. All righty. You got 370 up on the bench. Take a breather, knock that out for probably just 1. Then depending how it feels, do I up it or
No.
oh,
Before you got it hanging.
okay, I got it. I'll probably come back down at 370, and then I want to play around with some light deadlifts. 460, 480, I'm going to have to get up to about 250 pounds, Jacob. And it'll probably be, I'm thinking February or March of next year. I think gives me a reasonable amount of time to regain that. One thing is you don't want to try to set your goals too close, because then you do run the risk of injuring yourself because you're trying things that is a little bit too soon. For those of you who knew, when Jacob's saying back to 460, 480, because I've been there before, just last year, after COVID and a few other health mishaps, I lost a lot of that, lost 30 pounds of weight. So now I'm in the process of rebuilding and getting back to that. But because I have muscle memory, it makes it a little bit easier to get to that point. Whereas if you're trying to do it from never being there, it's longer. And don't try to rush it. There's my arginine. I take this about 2 or 3 times a day. And this helps with heart and circulatory health. It's also in there too. And I think this is one of the reasons my EKGs come back so good. That and niacin and all the other vitamins and minerals I take. Now, during the summer, I don't take vitamin D because I'm producing so much of that naturally because I'm always out in the sun. But in the winter, I'll start taking it again as a supplement. And those vitamins, your body stores them. So there is a certain amount you want to take and not over it. on vitamin C, your body does not store it. So vitamin C is something you need to take every day. And I take about 2,000 milligrams during the winter, about 1,000 during the summer, because I'm eating a lot of fresh fruits, and I got an apple tree. I got a lot of vegetables. I'm eating a lot of things that have natural vitamin C in it. So I cut back on the supplements during the summer when I'm eating all the stuff out of the garden, because now I'm really getting what I need from the potatoes and the green peppers and the cucumbers and the tomatoes and the carrots. Then I'm harvesting, and the squash from the garden every day. And I eat quite a few vegetables during the summer. I like them fresh. In the winter, not so much, because what you're buying at the store is not fresh anymore. But yeah, Jacob, to answer your question, probably February or March, I should at least be in the mid 400s. That's my goal. We'll see how it goes. That's what I'm working towards. So my nutrition, my workouts will be geared towards that. And I'm already starting to see my gains come back. I think I do appear bigger than I did 3 months ago. And really happy with the way the summer has progressed. I've gotten in much better physical shape. My balance is better from the discus throwing. And I really got myself involved in a lot more things than just sitting on the couch. And I did relax last night and play a little Fallout 3 before I went to bed. Went and cleaned out the armory. And then sold the stuff in Megaton, and then went to Big Town, and I think I was getting ready to. I found Tiny Town Friendship Station, so I saved it. I'll play about 20 minutes. That's about it, and probably next month before I fire it back up. But it's fun. I like doing it. I was talking to my coworker about Fallout New Vegas. I got to dig that one up. I think I want to start playing that again. It's been a while. So, cold outside, but I'm working up a sweat in here, which is a good thing. A couple more minutes, I'll go get Chuck, the movie star, to spot me. And we will go from there. Gotta give me some more cards made. The ones I dropped off here are all gone. Need more. Remember my sponsors, Lucky O'Day at Cutco Knives, Jamie Mix and Tracy, Trading Post in Utica, Illinois, Apex Nutrition in Shorewood, the Benefits Veterans Network, and Operation 1620, and Shorewood Fitness, and the Edge Fitness. Shorewood Fitness, Vince Robbins in Shorewood, Illinois, Edge Fitness here, and Streeter, Illinois. I do another gym, Fitness Premier in Pontiac. I actually went there yesterday and did a little bit of arms. I hadn't been there for a long time because I've been really concentrating between these other two gyms, but I'm going to try to stop in at least 15 minutes before work and hit one muscle group real fast. So at least when I go into work, I got a pump. Today should be a pretty easy day. We should be pretty much pushed all the loads, push some empties. That'll be about it. So it'll be a long, boring day today. Good day for me to post videos. I still have some of those shorts to post from the wildlife video on my MacBean Farms and Prepping. I think the last one I need to do is this track I found, trying to determine what the track is. I think it's a pretty large coyote track from the research I've done. It seems more likely that's what it is. It'd be a good sized coyote. Sometimes you get some hybrids, dogs, coyote hybrids, or you could actually get dog wolf hybrids. But another track about that big, and I'm thinking it was a pretty good size. And it could be a dog, but I haven't really seen any dogs running around here loose. So I'm thinking it was a large coyote, not big enough to be a wolf. But those are those things that you see when you go for hikes in the woods. You know, seeing a wild turkey, seen deer, seen squirrel, seen vultures I see every day. And then I seen the tracks of a coyote. And then I can tell that one of the neighbors was letting his cattle in the backwoods because I've actually found the cow pies out there. So I got 370 here. We'll get Doc and get him the bench. I'll knock this out. And then maybe I'll cut it down to that 225 and do that reverse bench and see how that feels. I'll be right back. Thanks for the thumbs up.
I'll go check that out when I get home. Yeah, okay. I'll let my jump. Okay. Have a good day, sis. I'll bug you later.
All righty. I got the rock star here, Doc Hollywood.
What are we doing?
So 370, probably just one.
Okay.
2 if it feels good, but my goal was actually just 1. So 370. Monday I did 365. So we're going to try to sneak 5 pounds every workout session. All right. Got movie star here, rock star, and general practitioner. There we go.
Not really.
I'm
Not that
ready.
kind of doctor. Theological doctor.
Theological. So we talk about theory.
Pastoral theology. I'm a pastor.
Oh, okay. I feel blessed.
Yeah.
See, I even got the holy weights.
I'm the pastor out of Grace Church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Musician on the side.
Good thing I don't swear a lot.
We're good, buddy.
I know. When I had the kids, I got rid of that. Understand when I was in the Army, it was a whole different story. Oh, did I start that? I did.
Yeah.
And that's how it's done.
Yeah.
All right, learn something new. So I'll put pause there.
Yeah, different kind of doctor.
Oh, yeah, I got a PhD.
I don't do medicine.
No. I had a really good doctor when I was in Joliet. He was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And he would listen to me because generally, you know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
And if you don't, well, then that's when you ask the doctor. And I used to get strep throat all the time. I call him up, say, I got strep again. Okay. He'd give me the prescription.
Right.
But the one thing he was mad about me is he goes, I had such a pain tolerance. If I had a problem, I didn't see him until 3 or 4 days later, and I should have. I had an ear infection get so bad. He's cussing me out. It was Friday. You should have been here Monday.
Yeah.
So then he goes, you want to send me DMT? I said, well, I'm not. I said, so he gave me a shot, drops, penicillin, and then he gave me a prescription for vitamin. I said, yeah, I'm not really into painkillers, man. He goes, John, it's Friday. If you get strong, it's Monday before I can do anything about it.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll probably need either of these big ones. Oh my God. I'm so glad I found his advice. I was taking 2 of these. These are worse pills. 8 Motrin every 4 hours just to stand the pain.
Wow.
Hey. I mean, when I first time woke up, there was just a pile of blood plus. He said I was hours away from the closing up.
Imagine what that weekend could have looked like then.
Oh, I would have been hating life.
Oh. Yeah.
So,
Sometimes you get it right.
yep. Sometimes listen to your doctor. So probably what I'm gonna do is got a nice heavy set. I'm gonna do a little burnout at 315. And then I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna try that reverse bench with 2 1/4. See how that feels. Should be a weight I'm comfortable handling. when I say I'll burn on 315, I'm probably not gonna do a lot of reps. Probably 2 or 3. And basically what I'm trying to do is just pump more nutrition into the vessels. So we'll do a reverse bench, and then if I still have the energy, I'll play around with some deadlifts, which I'm not going heavy, so I should be okay. And then it's to the grocery store, then probably to the dollar store. They have glass jars there for only $6. I want to grab some more to put my dry goods in. Because they will last in glass better than they will in cardboard. And just trying to get things organized. Basement, we'll start with the basement. I get the basement organized, and I can start bringing stuff back down there. But I just got too much stuff down there. So I'll be hauling stuff into the burning pile. You know, you just start accumulating all this stuff. You don't know where it came from. How we doing?
Good, so you.
I took the gold.
You did.
I did. Competed Sunday. I had competition too.
Did you?
Yeah, second and third place were only 5 or 6 feet behind me. So that was a lot of fun. So I threw 122 feet 8 inches
On the desk.
on the disc, which is my average. So I was happy to do it because, you know, it's a competition. Things are a little different. Pad was still wet from the rain, but I was happy with that throw.
Did you throw a shot at all?
I did not. They said next year I need to do that. So I did throw shot, just not competition.
Yeah, Jen.
So one of the guys I made friends with there, I threw it 30 feet shot put. That's what he was throwing. And that was with no form at all. That was just
Just
bowling it up there.
No swing.
I didn't want to try a swing with a shot. I hadn't practiced all year.
Yeah, I got
Sounded like a good way to cause an ankle injury.
Oh, yeah. Well, congrats on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I qualified for nationals for next year.
Sweet.
So what I'm gonna do is every Saturday I'm gonna go to Woodland and throw, because they'll let me throw there. I don't know if Streeter will or not, but I can't do it during the day because they have kids there, which I understand.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I asked, and they said we'd rather not. And I said, no, perfectly understand. You know, you gotta protect the kids, and
Yeah.
you know, you can come after 3 o'clock. I said, after 3 o'clock I'm at work,
yeah.
but on Saturdays I can throw there some on a pad, and then on Tuesdays I just throw off my road.
Gotcha.
But I'm killing the oak tree. I can't help but hit it because it's in your line of sight. So it's just like, it's, you know, if you look at it, that's where the disc
Oh,
goes.
sure it is. As long as you can release it, you can stay in that vector. You're good.
Right, and it is the vector. I'm just knocking branches off it left and right. But yeah, no, so it's,
Sweet.
I want to at least add another 20 feet to my throw because I have tossed it about there in 140s.
Really?
Consistent.
Oh, yeah, I got it. It's all about form. It's all about form.
Yeah, they go, well, where do you think you're going to throw? You know, so of course I go, it's not 100 feet, you know, it's working close to 120. Where's this? That's all I want to say. You know, 140, you throw a duck.
That's exactly right. Or you don't
Wow,
even,
wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow.
well, you know.
you don't even fall in the lines.
Well, you worst case scenario, you just stand there and throw it 10 feet. Well,
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
but no, the first throw was my best throw, and the next throw was 119 feet, some inches, and the third one I really went at it.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it went. I don't think it went any further than the first throw. I was already in the game, so.
That's right. So you just represent Illinois then? Or you-
Well, all 3 of us, as two medals, we represented,
Right.
hopefully the other 2 come.
What is it?
Where's nationals?
Pittsburgh, I mean,
Yeah.
so. Start signing on the way.
Yeah, we do that. That's great. That's awesome. I hope there's gonna be someplace where you can read it online.
I'll put it on my, you know, I have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
So I did have that line live stream, about a 2-hour one. And then the wife walked over, I was showing about an hour and a half into it. So it is on my YouTube channel. Yeah, just scroll ahead.
I will.
Yeah, right. It's one of the teachers there at the high school. Nice man. So knock out a few at 315. Just to keep the pump going, I'll drop it down to 225, and we'll try a reverse and see how that looks. So Jacob, you still on here? Because I'm doing this for you, bro. And thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. So basically, it's just keeping the pump going, still stressing the muscles, not trying to do any certain amount of reps or anything like that, just kind of keep it rolling. Whew. So hopefully everybody's enjoying the live stream here. I know I don't have a lot of fanfare and special effects going, but do appreciate for those who join in and get into the chat, ask questions, make comments, things like that. It does help it helps it on my part, helps my workout go easier. You know, it's kind of like having a couple lifting buddies here with you to keep you motivated. I know a lot of you have got schedules and that, especially now that school started. I think that's definitely has affected the viewership. And it could be time. It could be starting a little bit late. You know, hitting a lot of everybody's lunch hour and stuff like that. But it just starting an hour earlier, I just don't have the same energy level because of my work schedule. I'm just not awake enough at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, I'm not getting to bed until, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I need me rest, and then I need the recovery time. So knock that out. I'm going to try the reverse grip. As Jacob asked it, hopefully he's still in here or watches it later. And just going to do a couple. I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm pretty sure I got the strength to do it. And anytime that you try a new exercise, you want to do it with a lot less weight than you're usually doing it in the regular form. Remember, the key thing is to go slow and steady, make gains over time, and reduce the risk for injury. So it's always good to try new exercises. Just don't let your ego get in the way. Yes, I just did 370 this way, but now I'm turning it this way. I'm going to do 2 1/4. Could I do 315? Maybe, but I've never practiced it. So you don't want to sit there and get yourself, in trouble with a new exercise. And then if I like the way it feels, or if I can feel new muscles engaging, then maybe it's something I add to my routine every now and then. There's never a point when you say, hey, I've got it all down. I don't need to do anything else. There's always room for improvement. Always strive to make a better version of yourself. And remember, when you're in a gym, the only person you're competing with is you. Don't sit there and try a heavier weight because somebody is next to you is doing it. Don't let somebody else's conditioning in a certain muscle group get you hurt. I could probably outbench most people, but they can out squat me. Maybe I can out deadlift people, but like I said, there's always something they can do better. And then when I see them do that, it motivates me to say, maybe I can get a little better at doing that. So always use life experiences to be a motivating one and not a demotivating motivation. So reverse with 2 1/4. I had my subscriber Jacob asked me about doing about a reverse bench. So I haven't done them in a long time. I do know a friend of mine, Craig, who competed that way because of his elbows. That's how he had the bench. So it definitely engages different muscles. So I've dropped down 2 1/4 to do this and just knock it out for a few to see how it feels. So makes it a little bit different when you lift it off. Obviously, yeah. Challenge is I'm gonna need a lift for that. That's way different. I don't like the way it is, so I'm gonna drop weight. This is when you get smart. So I'm gonna drop the weight. They don't like the way I'm taking the weight off. And I can see why Craig always used me for a lift off. Because you're lifting a way different way. So I'm gonna drop it down to 135. This falls under the part of lifting smart. Don't let your ego get you in trouble. SG, hello, hey. So I'm just doing a reverse one. I have never done that before. And I was gonna do 2 1/4, but I didn't like the way it was coming off the bar. So I cut down the weight. So definitely a different feeling. So, oh yeah, definitely engaging a lot of different muscles there. So I'm glad that I took the 225 off and went with 135. I just really haven't benched that way. Feeling way really in here and in here. So definitely engaging new muscles doing that. So what I'll do now is I'm going to do some light deadlifts, not a lot of weight. Just because I'm now adding them back into my routine. Basically, when I was getting ready for the Senior Olympics with discus, I was doing more walks for endurance. I was doing more throws and spins for the muscle memory and for the form and for the balance. And obviously, curls and deadlifts and shoulders, or benches and shoulders, were exercise you want to do for discus. Now that my competition is over, I'm still going to do those, but now I'm adding in squats. I'm adding in deadlifts. Going to add in more shoulders because I kind of backed off the last couple of weeks because the one thing I didn't want to do was get an injury just before my competition. I've done that with lifting competitions before. That sucks. You had a muscle strain the week before a competition. I still did it, but I lifted 40 pounds less than I was capable of doing just to protect the shoulder, protect the chest. So sometimes you got to kind of plan ahead. So we're going to move over to the deadlift. Was pretty much, I think I'm just going to turn it around. Or maybe I'll move it over there so I can get you a better angle. No, in day and ages. Well, make sure you wipe stuff down. And we did this anyway. No one wants to lift where I sweated. Right? Right.
I saw it yesterday.
I'll move these over to the deadlift bar. And away we go. Woo! Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. So. Perfect, right in the middle. This is where we deadlift. Perfect. I'll let them know I'm live streaming. So I got a live stream going on.
Who's that?
As I'm live streaming, is that okay with you?
Oh, yeah, that's
All right,
fine.
because you're gonna be in it, and I just want to let you know.
No problem at all.
Hey, doing curls, I'm doing deadlifts. Now, this is where I do use clamps, where I don't use them on the bench, I use them on the deadlift because you're doing a lot more rattling, and they will move away from me if you don't. So we're gonna start with just 135. Do a set of 10, get warmed up, and then probably 2 1/4 might be as heavy as I go. If you're still in there, hit the thumbs up or pop in the chat. SG, hello, thanks for joining. If you're a subscriber, thank you. If not, hit the subscribe. I got a lot of videos on lifts, a lot of videos on discus throwing, nutrition, vitamins, supplements, and all sorts of exercises. And then good questions become next week's video, or become this week's video, like with Jacob when he talked about the reverse curl. Because of his suggestion, that's what I did. So else I might add, and obviously with reverse curl, you need to have a spotter because it's very hard to get it off the bar, unless you're on a Smith machine. And that's what a good Smith machine is good for, is if you don't have somebody there to spot you. Smith machine is a safer way of doing it. So deadlifts, here we go, 135. I had deadlifts first time in a long time. On the lighter weights, I just keep the regular standard grip like that. When I do go heavier, I do have to do a reverse. Hang on to it. But for these weights, I can do this easily. So I do a standard grip. Basically, want to keep it close to your legs. That's a good warm up. I'll add up to 2 1/4 and do a set of that. And probably where I'm going to stop because I haven't done these in a while. And once again, I don't want to get extremely sore. This is kind of a let the body know what's coming next week. So now it'll be time to add some weight. So we're, straight bars are hard. Straight bar curls are hard.
Yeah.
Put a lot of pressure on your wrist.
So I'm trying to just do the cheats. I'm all spent out this week.
Yeah. Cheats have their place.
Yeah, I'm
You
just
know.
trying to just end the week throwing up something heavier than
I had a guy who's let's say an older Mexican guy my age. And every time he was doing this. So I go, Javier, I go, what muscle group are you working? He goes, my biceps.
No.
He goes, which one are you doing? I says, oh, I'm thinking you're doing your glutes.
Lips on your shoulders.
I said,
back.
this might be something good in the bedroom, but you know.
Yeah.
I said that in a sentence. So I put him up against the wall.
Oh yeah, and just
Yeah,
do
it
straight
did
isolation.
half the way. And about 6 months later, he's doing the same way, but he's doing it.
Oh yeah. I don't really like doing these, but I just
Well,
figured-
they do have their place.
Yeah.
I mean, they're called cheat curls because they are an exercise that kind
Yeah.
of
trying to build more mass
Yep.
into it.
yeah, buddy on the body beatdown does those.
I said I do them maybe.
What he calls them for what they are. You know, when you call them for what they are, then it's the proper exercise.
Oh yeah. Like I know the form here is not concentrated just on your biceps, just taking heavier weight, try to get up the top.
Usually you don't do that with a straight bar anyway. That's what the curve bar is for.
I like doing it on the straight to curve bars. My wrists, I don't know, the angles of them. When I start coming up, I get my whole
Yeah,
life.
if
I
it
get
starts,
pains in
all
them.
right, so if it starts hurting, drop the weight.
Well, I'm talking about 40 pounds.
And it bothers your wrist?
Oh yeah. I've always had weird stuff with my wrists.
Yeah.
So I work on my forearms a lot, and then my wrists, it doesn't do anything. I've always just been very, very.
You ever
weak.
just try like light dumbbells and just?
Oh yeah, I do it every week. I come over with 3s and 5s, and I just do sets of those. It's still the.
I used to do it with the curl. I used to do reverse ones.
Mhm.
Boy, would I
Oh,
feel it right here.
I'll do the easy bar, then I'll use the
Yeah.
actual easy bar for just weights. Do the same thing once a week, just different underneath and top.
Yeah.
It's in here.
There's so many things you can do and attract at different angles.
Mhm.
Like I just one of my subscribers asked me to do a reverse bench. I haven't done one in years, so first I dropped down to 2 1/4. And I'm trying to pull it up. I said no. So I went down to 135. I said, but I could feel I was using new muscles.
Yeah, when I do reverses, I do them with dumbbells, and I go up to maybe 25 pounds.
Yeah,
Just
no,
because
it
it's such an awkward.
Well, I know a guy who, because of his
Moving.
elbows, actually competed that way. But he always needed a lift off, and in competition, he had me lift off, and he's like, "Well, you're sweating worse than I am." I said, "Well, yeah, you're like this, and your bar's right here." I said, "Man, if that slips, I got to catch it."
Yeah.
And he was like a